everyone, welcome to today's Carly Convo. We are with an X Factor legend, the lovely Wagner. Hello.
Hello, Carly. Thank you.
How are you today? All good?
I'm not too bad, thank you. And how are you?
Yeah, all better for speaking to you. Hopefully we'll have a little bit of a fun chat today. So I know you're still quite busy doing your fan videos and you still perform when you can, but what else have you been up to lately?
I've got some. I'm going to do a big thing in my life at the moment. So I'm going to open a hair transplant clinic in Brazil.
Oh wow! Okay, where did this spur from?
In 2013, 2014, I had gone bold, really bold. I had a huge bald spot at the back of my head, and my forehead, my hairline had receded really badly. And I had 2 hair transplants at the Vinci Hair Clinic in London. And I became good friends with the clinic owner. His name is Salvar Bjornsson. And 8 years later, as we became friends and as we talk a lot, I said to him, I'm concerned that I am now 66, so I'm really coming to the end of my life, and my business is not something that I can leave for my kids.
Yeah.
When I die, there will be no money from gigs. There will be no money from custom videos. So I asked him if I could have a franchise of the Vinci Hair Clinic. And he said there are no more franchises available in the UK. However, there are some franchises available in Brazil, where I was born.
Yeah.
And when he offered me a franchise in the north or in the northeast, where I was born, I said, well, I have both. Can I have one in the north and another one in the northeast?
Got 2.
So, yeah, so in a few months, I'm going to Brazil. I'm going to start the clinic. It's going to be a big job. I mean,
exciting.
I'm going to have to find the premises and then make changes in the premises to be suitable for a hair transplant clinic. I'm going to have to find the staff, employ people, train people.
A lot of work. That sounds like quite the career U-turn from X Factor star to hair transplant master. So it's quite different. Here's a picture of your iconic X Factor days. So that's actually
you can see that my hair is receding there. You can see that my forehead had gone longer.
Yeah,
but it became worse. 4 years later, it became worse.
Well, I always know you for your long hair, so I wouldn't have even known.
So, but now I have plenty of hair, as you can see.
Yeah,
I have a normal headline and plenty of hair on my head. So I am the living proof that hair transplants work. Because the hair is taken from the back of your head.
Yeah.
Where its DNA says, I'm not falling. So once you get the hair from here up here, it doesn't fall. Oh, by the way, can you see I had a carpal tunnel syndrome surgery.
Oh, no.
And I also had a trapped nerve on my elbow. Ooh. So on Wednesday, I had 2 surgeries, one on my wrist and another one on my elbow.
Oh, blimey. Are you recovering well?
Very well, thank you.
Good.
Many thanks to Cannock Chase Hospital. The whole team was brilliant. The surgeons, the nurses, everybody, fantastic people.
I'm glad you're out of the wars and healing well. Obviously, most people watching will obviously know and love you from your X Factor days. And I said, if my maths were right, that was 12 years ago. Does it feel like it's been that long?
It's amazing how time flies, and
Yeah.
how things uh, who happened a long time ago, sometimes they feel like they they were yesterday, isn't
Yeah.
it?
Yeah, definitely. Would you say your experience was completely positive? Were there any sort of hard parts of sort of your X Factor stint?
I loved being there. It obviously, when you are on the limelight, you get a lot of criticism
Mm-hmm.
from, because haters, they always exist.
Yeah.
But uh, but luckily to me, I've got millions of people who love me, because I know, because wherever I go, people love to see me, and only a few haters. So I
Yeah.
would say that the negative was irrelevant, really.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think you've definitely, as you say, you've got a lot more fans and haters. I didn't know anyone would hate you. I couldn't imagine why.
Oh, sometimes they come on my page, and they say horrible things, but that's rare, really. Majority of people are very nice to me, and I don't know why they like me so much, but they do.
Yeah. Because I think you're a great character. And who else loved you on the show was Louis, wasn't it? Because you were mentored by Louis. I think we've got a picture of you and old Louis there. How did you find him? Would you say was he a good mentor?
Well, I I think Simon Cowell was a very nice guy too,
Yeah.
and I really loved everybody on the whole team of the X Factor, the
Yeah.
cameraman, the the producers, absolutely everybody.
Oh,
It was a joy being there. It's a shame the show finished, and I think that the show finished for a couple of reasons that contributed. Would you like me to tell you what I think?
go for it.
Okay. How come the most successful TV show in the UK all of a sudden faded away? I think two things contributed. One was the fact that they didn't have £1 million recording contract to offer anymore, as because you can't make money selling records anymore. Everything changed. It's like you don't make money selling horseshoes anymore, and it's like people who had who people who are making money with public phones don't make money with public phones anymore, because everybody have mobile phones now. So
Yeah,
things have changed, and
changing. The
people,
landscape's changing.
yeah, people don't buy records anymore. And as people don't buy records anymore, the X Factor didn't have a huge prize to offer to the winner. And so at the same time, there wasn't as much money to be made for the show producers. And the other thing which I think contributed to the show losing its popularity was the fact that Simon had to become Mr. Nice Guy.
Yeah.
Before, he would say horrible things to people, singing badly, but now the world is becoming more and more. The world is becoming a very boring place where you have to be politically correct at all
Yeah.
times, and so I didn't like Jeremy Kyle's show. I think it was horrible. I think it was such a bad vibe to watch people arguing, and he would wind them up. Uh, and apparently something badly happened,
Yeah. Yeah.
and the show was stopped. and Simon Cowell had to change as well. So I think people enjoyed watching him saying horrible things, which is wrong, which is wrong, really. But that that was something that I think attracted people to watch the show.
No, I think you're definitely right there. And I've never actually thought of it like that, but I think you've actually hit the nail on the head. Obviously, everyone's seen Simon turn into the nicer man over the years, but I didn't actually realise why. I probably assumed it's because he had a child and got a bit nicer, but it's probably because the landscape has changed. You can't be as horrible anymore on telly because of people's mental health is more a thing now. So I think you've got the nail on the head there, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's actually quite interesting to know. So how did you find the judges then? Because sometimes they weren't nasty, but they sometimes didn't have the nicest things to say. I think the audience were probably nicer than the judges to you most of the time on the show. So did you ever take it to heart if they ever didn't like your performance?
No, not really, because I had to agree with them. They look. When I was there, when I went there, I was 54, and old dogs don't learn new tricks that easily. My English 12 years ago was even worse than it is today. So it was very hard for me to learn new songs like that. And when you go to the live shows, it's like they give you a song on a Monday, and sometimes they change their mind and they give you another song on a Tuesday, and then you have to learn that within a few days. But you don't really have much time to learn it, because you're always busy doing something. You are always filming. You are always being interviewed, and I struggle to learn the song. So if you don't know the lyrics, you don't know the notes, because
Yeah.
each syllable is a note. Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds quite difficult then for you, especially if you said you're
Yeah.
yeah.
It wasn't my language, and I had to learn those songs really quickly. So I used to backstage before singing, before coming on to millions of people. I had the lyrics in a piece of paper in my pocket, and I'll be reading that, and I think, my God, I can't forget the lyrics, and I forgot the lyrics a couple of times. So when you don't know the lyrics, you don't know the notes, so you can't possibly sing well. So I
Was that
think I
quite
sing really
scary?
badly.
Was that
I
quite
sing
scary though? I would have been scared if I didn't know. I'd panic.
well. Yes, I wasn't scared of anything apart from forgetting the lyrics. That was my main concern. I can't forget the lyrics. I can't forget the lyrics.
I was
And
always going to say, I also heard, or I read, I was doing a bit of research. I read that you had to leave the house, the X Factor house. Could you tell us a bit like why you ended up leaving? There's a bit of controversy around that.
oh my God, there's so many lies I've been told about that. It's like when I go on Google and I see the Wagner X Factor Wikipedia, they say my birthday is on the 13th of December. My God, I was born on the 23rd of February. All my paperwork, all my documents say that I was born on the 24th of February, though, because my dad was born on the 24th of February. So he cheated and he told the register office that I was born on the 24th to have the same birthday as him. But I know that my mom told me I was born on the 23rd of February at 5:30 in the morning. So many lies were told about that. The reason why I asked you to leave the X Factor was simple, very simple. Lots of kids, lots of young people in one house.
Yeah.
The kitchen sink was always filthy with
Uh,
washing to do. I mean, filthy. And the toilet seat was always wet. So you would have to queue up to go to the toilet, and when you go to the toilet, you have to disinfect the seats. It was just disgusting. I said, "Look, can I go to a hotel, please?"
Yeah. Yeah. I think I
That
would as
was the
well.
reason. What was mainly for hygiene. I hate using other people's toilet seats.
Yeah.
I hate well, if there's something that I hate is sharing a bathroom, sharing a
Yeah.
toilet.
Yeah, same. I don't blame you for that then, because I think I read online it was because it was John had said that you were spraying deodorant to sabotage other people's voices. I was like, oh my goodness.
Oh, uh, the reason why I was spraying the air because the house was smelling badly. I never imagined that that would affect anyone's throats, and I think that was a bit over the top from him.
Yeah, no. Well, I'm glad you put that to bed because if the house was dirty, I would have definitely left as well. Obviously, there was also some real big names on your series, so we'll speak to John Edward in a minute. But we've got like the likes of One Direction, Matt Cardle, I think one, Rebecca Ferguson, Cher Lloyd, Katie Waisel. Do you ever hear from anyone in your series at all, or are we all sort of like gone separate ways?
We all went separate ways. We all had our lives before we went there, and we carried on with our lives after the show.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
no, I don't hear much from anybody. Sometimes, very rarely, I speak to Mary or
yes,
Rebecca
yeah.
Ferguson. And who else I spoke to the other day? Tracy Cohen.
So you do hear
Yeah,
from some people. I think I even read that you wanted Rebecca to win your competition, didn't you? Obviously, sadly, she didn't. But she's spoken
definitely,
out about X Factor experience. I don't know if you've ever seen
definitely.
that, but obviously, she had quite a rough time leaving the X Factor, and she sort of and kind of the label that followed. Can you see? Did you experience any of the stuff that say Rebecca and Cher have said about their experience, or can you see where they've coming from that they didn't feel like they were treated very fairly?
I read that. Well, I've seen Rebecca upset once, and I didn't know exactly why.
Hmm.
Well, I mean, I saw she was upset one. I saw one. I noticed that one day she was upset
Yeah,
on while I was there, and later I read that she had some bad experiences with it, but I don't know much about it, to be honest. All,
yeah,
all I know is that Rebecca should have won.
yeah,
Her version of Wicked Game is incredible. It's
yeah.
haunting. It's incredible. She she has a wonderful voice.
Yeah.
I even won a T-shirt saying "Vote Rebecca." Remember? Do you remember that? I used to wear a T-shirt saying "Vote Rebecca" because I really wanted her to win. I never wanted to win. I wasn't bothered about winning. I knew that winning wasn't important. The important was to be there. The important was to be part of the show.
Yeah. No,
Winning is not
definitely.
important. Winning wasn't important.
No, I think as long as you had fun, and I think you definitely had fun on the show, didn't you? So I think
I had
you're.
fun on the show, and I had a lot of fun after the show.
Yeah.
I had countless gigs. I sold thousands and thousands of custom videos over the years, and I had nothing but joy. I mean, I went to hospital to have the surgery, and
Mhm.
everybody knew who I was. I was signing autographs and having pictures. There's nothing better than love, and there is nothing better than being loved. So
Yes.
I can have only gratitude to the show and to the British people who had accepted me and adopted me
Yeah.
uh, as
Oh.
their own. Actually, I am British now. I have a British passport. I
Yeah. Well,
became I became a British citizen. I came. I came in 1992, and I had a Brazilian passport. But later on, I became British, and I love the UK. I
Then you
don't
still,
like the weather, but I
yeah.
love, but I like the country.
Obviously, as you
By the
said,
way, this last winter was horrible.
I know, I
Absolutely
know.
horrible.
It was, it was. But as you said, a lot of things have changed for you maybe since the show. I know you've had two lovely children that you've got with your. Are you still with Lydia now?
Uh, Lydia, oh, there she is. She's lovely. I love Lydia and I love my kids. Yes, and I'm going to Brazil because I want to leave a business. I want to leave a successful business for them when I die. I mean, it will be easier for Lydia to control the clinic. I'll make sure that I'll employ a manager who speaks English and will be able to communicate with her.
So she is, I think, if I read right, 28 years younger than you. And I think I
No,
read
no. She's 36 years younger.
36 years younger. I don't know where I'm.
Yeah,
They're printing the wrong things again about you, aren't they? So
yeah.
36 years younger.
When I met her, I was 54 and she was 19.
Ah, and you're still together.
Now she's 30 and I'm 66.
Well, I did read somewhere, this may be true, maybe not, that you said you're like a vampire because you like young blood. Now, did you say that?
Ah, that was a joke. That was a
That
joke.
made
That
me
was a joke.
laugh. I thought
That
it
was
was
a joke.
hilarious. That made me laugh. So,
You see, our love had nothing to do with age. It was something that naturally happened.
did you
I
meet
had.
before the X Factor, or was it this afterwards?
It was after we
After.
met on I did a gig at the uh, River Rooms in Stourbridge, and that's where I met her first. That
Oh.
was in 28th of December 2010. I had just left the show and I was doing my first gigs at the time.
Who approached
Now I
who?
sorry.
Who approached who? Did she come after you? Did she flirt with you first, or
We
the other way
were
around?
introduced by a common friend.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm looking at this picture now, Leon, Lillian, and me, and I'm looking at myself with the mustache. Oh, I prefer the beard now. I prefer the beard definitely. Look how
we
long
can
it is.
we can flash up Lydia again so she's on the screen. I think we've got a picture of them two just together. So she said, I think there was an interview at the time where she said that you guys had lots of sexual chemistry, and she said your experience did you well. Is that still very a big part of your relationship? Do you still have how do you kind of give us some tips on how to have a good sex life in your 60s? Because I think people watching will need to know. What's the secrets behind the scenes?
I I think I think sex is a consequence of love. If you love, you feel naturally attracted to the person. I think sex without love is a very sad thing to do.
Yeah.
I'm sure we all did it at some point, but it's not that rewarding. You just feel like washing yourself when you finish, don't you?
Yeah. Is it harder in your 60s? Is it more fun? Does it get better with age?
The spirit doesn't get old.
What doesn't get old?
I only know that I'm 66 because my birth certificate tells me I was born in 1956.
So you've still got the energy of a young fella then.
Yes, I go to the gym every day. I walk my dog every day. I ride my bicycle. I've got an electric bike, and I cycle every day when it's not raining.
That's what I was going to say. I've read that.
I've got a massive dog. My dog is stronger and bigger than me, and I take him out every day. So
Oh,
uh, I'm not as big as Sylvester Stallone and Arnold Schwarzenegger, but I identify myself with them because they also work out and they also look pretty fit for their age.
yes.
So I identify myself with them, although they're a lot bigger than me, of course.
I was going to say, I knew your fitness was very important to you because I had a look on your Instagram and you've got a lot of gym updates. So I knew that was a big part of your life. But yeah, would you ever
Yeah,
consider? 'Cause I know you do your fan videos, which are really great income for you, and you do birthday messages and things like that. But then obviously, where you're still in great shape, would you ever consider putting the two ideas together and doing like an OnlyFans? Do you know what OnlyFans
I
is?
I, I wouldn't do that, no.
Oh, I feel like you'd have a great fan base.
But OnlyFans isn't it about being there naked? Nah, I don't fancy doing that. No.
No,
No.
no. Well, I had to ask because I'm sure there's some people that would love to know. But we'll stick to the birthday messages, shall we?
I thought of using OnlyFans to to sell to help me to sell my custom videos. But then Lydia said it wouldn't work because people it's something like people pay a subscription,
Yeah.
and it wouldn't be the right place for me to sell my videos. So no, I'm not on OnlyFans.
No.
But I've heard there are people who go there and they are personal trainers and
Yeah.
nutritionists. So it's not all about being naked, is it? But I
No.
I, I know very little about the platform. I'll
Yeah.
tell you what. I was invited the other day to go on Naked Attraction. I would never go there. Never.
What did you say? What? How come they
I said
invited you?
no. No, I'm not interested. Thanks. No.
No. Well, are you still with your partner? So you're not even single. So why would they ask you? Or are you single now?
I don't know. No, no. They asked. I don't even know if it was a genuine phone call because my telephone number is on my website.
Yeah.
So maybe it wasn't genuine. But anyway, I wouldn't go there.
Would you know?
Talking
Would you know?
talking about so OnlyFans and Naked Attraction. No, no.
Well, I agree with you there. I can't say you could give me any amount of money that would make me do that. No way. No, thank you. Works for some people, but not for me. So, yeah, we're on the same ball there.
Ah,
Yeah. But you do what you do. I saw that you offered a little spin around in your Mercedes, which some fans can even do and meet you, can't they?
yeah, but it didn't work. It didn't work. We try different things, don't we?
Yeah. I was going to say that sounds amazing.
Yeah, but it didn't work, and
Ah.
so I gave up.
That's all right. Oh,
We-
we tried. You tried. So
Yeah.
obviously, I know you've obviously did a lot of gigs since X Factor. You must have had obviously you've got a lot of fans. You've still got a lot of fans. Do you have any sort of standout, strange, bizarre fan stories that kind of stick out? Any bit of over the top fans got a bit too much before?
Oh, all kinds of things happened during these 12 years. Uh, all kinds of things happened. I don't know. I was going to say something. I forgot what I was going to say. Ah, yes, yes. One thing that I considered as well was to run a pub. I thought, well, if like people pay good money for me to go and meet them all over the country.
Mm.
And I thought, what if I had my own pub and if I made my pub a music venue? Maybe a lot of people would come and have stag do's at my pub, and I could bring rock bands, and I could make it a very interesting place. And then a brewery offered me a pub. Now, mind, I don't drink much. I,
Okay.
I don't go to pubs. Very rarely you see me in a pub unless I'm performing
I've
uh,
got a picture of you for some lovely ladies
or
performing.
it's part of a gig. But I'm not a pub goer. I don't go to a pub just to drink.
Yeah.
So as the brewery offered me this pub, I went there, and it was a karaoke night, and people were singing loud. Well, I went on this guys. I had a hood on, and I put a stupid COVID mask, not because of COVID, because I didn't want to be recognized. So I went there, and nobody realized who I was. And when I heard the loud music, people singing karaoke badly, and all the drunk people, I thought, my God, this is hell. No, I couldn't. No, I couldn't. I couldn't have a pub, so I gave it up. And now I'm really looking forward to have my hair transplant clinics, because I just want to help people
Yeah.
who were bold. To me, going bold was a traumatizing experience. I hated it. I was paranoid. Like, God, I didn't want that.
Oh.
Especially the back of my head. I had a huge hole on the back of my head. Uh, I hated it. So I can I can relate and I can empathize with people who are losing hair,
Well, I know
and
you.
I want to help them. I want to I want to make people happy. So I want to have my hair transplant clinic. I want to have two, one in the north and another one in the northeast.
Well, talking about Brazil, I also heard that you had a bit of a nasty experience and might have got shot in the leg over there. Can you tell us about that?
Oh yes, I was at the wrong place
That sounds very
at the
dangerous.
wrong time, and I was a bad boy. And now I'm just a bad old man.
So did they mean to shoot you? Did you get in the way? Like, was it on
Oh yes,
purpose?
no, it was intentional. Yes, it was intentional.
Oh
It
my
was
God. And then
intentional.
haven't you got like a big plate in your leg now?
I have a plate and 11 bolts because the bullet broke the femur, and
Oh,
to reconstruct the femur, the bullet broke the femur in several places. So I had to have a plate to align it, and then 11 bolts to reconstruct the femur. And every time I have to go to airport, I get searched. Because as I go to the metal detector, the machine screams, bleep, 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 and then I get searched all the time, all the time. But it's not because of that. I also have metal hips and metal knees. I had two, I had two hip resurfacing surgeries, and had two knee replacement surgeries. So I've got lots of metal in my body.
blimey. Oh, that's make me feel rigid. But at least it worked. Everything works still. You're still very
Yeah,
active.
yeah,
So it
yeah,
must have
yeah.
done you a favour.
Yes, the surgeon who operated my hips and my knees is a genius. His name is Derek McMean. He's the inventor and the creator of the first perfect hip resurfacing and knee replacement. Before Mr. McMean, a hip replacement would only last a few years.
Mm-hmm.
But I had mine in 1999, 23 years ago, and they are perfect, still perfect. And also before Mr. McMean, uh, knee replacements were not perfect. For instance, you couldn't kneel with your knee, with your artificial knees.
Yeah.
But with Mr. McMean's knees, you can kneel, you can do absolutely everything.
Oh,
So
good.
yes, I'm good. I'm good. Yeah.
Good. And I did see something rather funny. I think you shared it on your Instagram not so long ago, where you were being compared to the lovely Johnny Depp. And in the magazine, they'd put you side by side, Johnny Depp, saying that you were lookalikes. Do
Yeah,
you think,
that was a good article. That was a good article.
can you see the resemblance?
On the clothing, yes, yeah. on the clothing, but that wasn't intentional. Interesting how the whoever wrote the article found those similar outfits, because I had never realized it.
Made me laugh. So did we? Oh yeah, did we think of any crazy fan stories before we go? Any? Because you must have got
Well,
women throwing them.
I've got a fantastic one, which it hasn't been documented anywhere. I went to sing at a place in London called Bonga Bonga. Have you heard of
Yes.
it?
Yeah.
Bonga
Yeah.
Bonga. And if you go on Google and if you ask for Wagner X Factor Bonga Bonga, then you read an article which will confirm what I'm telling you now. But I just never, I just don't have a photo to prove it. So listen to this. I was at my changing room at the Bonga Bonga, and then two very elegant girls came into my room, and they had some big guys with them, wearing black suits, like they were the security.
Right.
And the girls asked, "Can I have a photo with you?" And I said, "Of course." I was having pictures with everybody at that time, and I hugged them and I kissed them and I had pictures taken. And then they left. And the guy who was driving me on that day, he was like, his jaw was dropped. He was like, I said, "Do you know who these girls are?" I said, "I have no idea. Who are they?" And he said, "Princesses Eugenie and Beatrice."
Oh my
I
God.
I said, "Why didn't you take a picture for me?" I never knew that. But yes, it was them. So if you Google Wagner X Factor, Bonga Bonga, Princesses Eugenie and Beatrice, you'll see that they were there on that night.
Oh my God. Were
They
they
were there on
lovely?
that night.
Very nice
Yeah.
ladies?
Yes, lovely ladies, very, very elegant, very well dressed.
Oh,
Of
well,
course.
that's really cool. But they must have the picture somewhere. So if they listen to this, he wants his picture. He wants to see it.
Princess Eugenie and Princess Eugenie and Princess Beatrice, please let me have the pictures. I would love to have the pictures.
Do you often get, other than royal princesses, do you often get women kind of throwing themselves at you, flirting with you all the time?
I wouldn't say it is necessary. It is necessarily sexual.
Mm-hmm.
But people like me as a person, I think.
Yes.
So like I said, it is wonderful to be loved, and but I don't think it is. It is in that context. Some might fancy me, but the majority of the feeling that I get is really friendship and attraction to me as a human being, not
Yeah.
not sexually. It might be, of course, there will be, there are some, but I wouldn't say that that's the main.
Yeah, got you.
The main
Main
thing.
focus.
No.
Is there anything else we haven't spoken about? Anything else you want to mention before we head off?
Just say to everybody that I thank the British people with all my heart for all the love they gave me over the years.
Yeah, and it's still going.
Yes, it's still going.
Well, good luck with your new business.
I have a gig this Friday.
Oh, so anyone watching, whereabouts is it? They can go check
It's
it
in
out.
Southend-on-Sea.
Anyone watching near Southend-on-Sea, you know where to find this man for a selfie. There might even be a princess there that you can go check out. But thank you so much.
I'll tell you something.
Oh,
Right. There is a square named after my father in João Pessoa, where I was born. My father was very famous. before TV became the main vehicle of communication, it was the radio. Before TV, it was the
Yeah.
radio. And my father had a live show on a theater called Santa Rosa, Saint Rose. Saint Rose in Portuguese is Santa Rosa. And theater is teatro. So my dad had a live show on the Teatro Santa Rosa, the Saint Rose Theater in João Pessoa, Paraíba, where I was born. And people who could afford, they would pay and watch the show live. And people who couldn't afford would just, or couldn't go, would listen to the show on the radio.
Yeah.
So my father was the most famous man at the time when he was alive and when he was working. He was he was a superstar. And I grew up watching everybody say hello to my dad, and it was amazing. It's like he didn't like to drive. He didn't like cars. He only liked motorbikes. So if he has a problem with his motorbike, you just go to the main road, and cars would stop and offer him lifts, or buses. The bus driver would stop and say, "Pascual, would you like a lift?" And so I grew up in that environment. I was never really starstruck with anybody. However, one day I was at a TV studio, and I saw Naomi Campbell coming, and that was starstruck at that time because I had seen Naomi Campbell so many times on magazines, on TV, and I thought, wow, Naomi Campbell, and I was looking at her, and when she passes by me, she looks at me and says, "Wagner." I couldn't believe it.
Oh my God! Did you speak to her anymore? Did you have a nice little chat?
No. It was just that. I said, "Oh, hello," and that was it. You know, when you are on a TV, when you are working on TV, when a TV studio, everybody's busy.
Yeah.
Everybody's busy. So no, I never had any conversation. But it was lovely because, imagine you see. Can you imagine how I felt? I had
Yes.
seen Naomi Campbell on magazines, on TV, and then I said, "Oh my God, that's Naomi Campbell." And when she approaches me, she knows who I was.
Oh my
I was
God.
amazed.
That sounds amazing. That's one to take with you and think about sometimes. Yeah, as if Naomi Campbell would know. Oh my! I would think I would die on the spot because she's just so flawlessly stunning and she has such an aura around her. I don't even think I'd be able to say hello back. I think I'd be like, and be so starstruck. So at least you got your words out.
Yeah.
But brilliant. Well, thank you so much for chatting today. It's been a pleasure talking to you. And yeah, I hope you have the best of luck with your hair transplant business. And yeah, anyone down Southend, go see him this weekend.
Okay, so the idea is to spend some time in Brazil and some time in the UK. I miss the sunshine, so it seems that I'm going to have a reason to enjoy the sunshine now. I will have to go there every now and then. So
well, I hope you enjoy it.
Even when I'll be there and to make sure it's up and running, and after it's up and running, I'll be able to come back to the UK. But obviously, I'm going to be going there to make sure everything is fine.
Well, I'm sure.
I don't like flying, but one of my best friends, he was my karate student when he was a kid. Do you know I am a PE teacher?
Yes.
Yeah. So I always enjoyed sports and always enjoy working out. So Rodrigo, he was my karate student when he was a kid, and now he's a pilot for Emirates. So he flies nearly every day. That's how he makes his living. He has no fear of flying, and I need to learn that from him.
Well, hopefully you can.
I hope I will.
Well,
yeah.
awesome. We'll speak another time, but lovely chatting with you, and we'll go head off now. But thanks so much.
Thank you, Carly. Have a lovely day and have a great week.
You too. Goodbye.